Hey everybody, it's Gregory from Treetop Hobby Hardwood, and one of the things I ended up with on my first try at a cedar log was kind of this unusable 6-inch, 7-foot, 8-foot beam. It's an awkward thing. Cutting one side would get me ugly on the other side, and so I just stopped. And we all kind of thought about it, and you know what? Somebody creative can find something cool to do with this thing. It's big, it's clunky, and we had some beams and other things we cut out of it. Again, it's just in the learning process of what that thing can do. And I'm trying to straighten these guys because they didn't exactly dry flat. And we have some oak to do the same thing, lots of slabs. Again, learning process. So if you see something I'm doing wrong, let me know. But more importantly, if you think there's something creative we can do with these, make some comments, and we'll see if we can do something. I know there's some craftsmen out there. Now this guy, you'll remember this from a video ago. The mistakes were made. We destroyed a blade on those two little bits right there, which are barbed wire or nails or something, and this thing is riddled with it. But we thought, you know what? It's such a big, beautiful piece of oak. Let's get it in there and see if we can cut something off of it. Well, that was a problem too. You see, we moved a few things in, and I'm just not getting this big old beam in there. That thing probably weighs close to 700-800 pounds, and I'm not getting past that bandsaw right there. That thing's about 1,000 pounds worth of cast iron steel off a World War I battleship. We'll talk about that guy later. So reset the cameras, and maybe it's time to clean up. Yeah, let's make a new space. Easy, right? Alright, so get in there, no problem with the Bobcat. Get that bad boy set up on the bunks there. Gently set her down and back out. Take a look with our magnetometer, and man, that thing is riddled with metal. There was more metal coming up on the second pass with this thing than there was on the first. You know, we trashed one blade. I'm just not going to trash another one. The conclusion here is, let's just throw it out back on the pile, and it can become a split piece wood for firewood. We'll see, but that's what's going to happen with it. So anyway, moving on, went and grabbed some more pallets. Gonna try to use up this new space. Try to be a little more conservative with how I do it. But yeah, let's get them set up. And I'm gonna bring in a big piece of cedar that we have in there. It's about 5.5 feet long. I know I can cut this. I know it'll go well. It's relatively dry compared to the oak stuff, and obviously a little bit softer. I'm gonna get it canted up, get it pushed up against those log stops, and then tighten up the dogs and get that thing set just right. See if I can't get some decent planks out of this thing. I'm getting better at this. It's still a learning process, but take your time, go easy, be safe. And of course, one more time, I'm going to check this thing with the metal detector. And this thing was fantastic. Not not a hint of metal in there. Go ahead and set my blade tension there. Get her set up, and away we go. So one of the things I'm running into is I'm not really cutting these for anybody. No, it's not like there's a client ordering this stuff, and I really don't know what the standard should be for a cut, especially in cedar. You know, when I think of cedar, I think of pickets for fences and pieces, you know, big beams and whatnot for decks and patios and that sort of thing. I don't know what to cut. 5.5 feet isn't really long enough for any kind of a beam. But I also know people can build some pretty cool stuff out of some 1x. And so right now my standard MO is going to be get this thing squared up and then get, you know, nice flat planks that can be planed out, jointed out, and turned into whatever. You know, an outdoor cabinetry or something like that might be kind of cool, but I don't know. Here again, if you've got suggestions, I would love to hear what we could do with these. More than likely, I'm going to cut this stuff and going to dry it, and then we're going to just put it up for sale and let some hobbyists do their thing. You can see it's got some beautiful grain in it, really pretty character to it. Definitely some usable wood. Can't wait to see what somebody can do with it. Or maybe I'll do something. So finish the last cut. I could have kind of gone one more, but here again, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this wood or what could be done with this wood. So this one's right at 3 inches, maybe not quite 3 inches. I'm just gonna leave it. Maybe one big cedar beam isn't such a bad thing. Of course, when we're done, one thing I've learned is you gotta get paint on those ends pretty quick. You want this thing to dry out nice and evenly, and if you don't paint those ends, they're exposed and the moisture will escape much more quickly. So a generous helping of some cheap latex paint, cover those ends. I went out a couple days after I filmed this and they were great. No splits, nothing gross. You know, the other thing you have to avoid is cupping. And as these things settle, you'll see that top one from the bottom, maybe that'll settle down a little bit. And nice flat. There's some pretty wood, nice red cedar, which is actually a juniper from what I understand. Yeah, there's some good stuff there. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. Would love to get your comments, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.